Shilajit is a traditional medicinal substance from the Himalayas, formed from decomposed plant, animal, mineral, and microbial material. Basically, it's dirt. Its composition can vary depending on its location, but the main components of crude shilajit are humic and fulvic acids. It also contains small amounts of vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, and amino and organic acids. However, the key ingredient is believed to be fulvic acid, an organic compound naturally formed over time from the breakdown of plants and animals. It's believed to have antioxidant properties, which is believed to contribute to shilajit's potential health benefits, such as its traditional use as an adaptogen in Ayurvedic medicine. So why do people take shilajit? Most shilajit supplements are marketed to boost energy and reduce stress, much like other adaptogens such as ashwagandha. It's also promoted for improving fertility, muscle strength, and addressing various other health conditions. But does it really work? And what does the research say about the benefits of shilajit? Most of the research on shilajit have been done on cells and mice, not humans. This means that any benefits observed in these studies are purely theoretical and not proven to work in people. Studies on cells and mice don't directly apply to humans because of differences in our physiology, metabolism, and how we react to substances. So while these preliminary findings on shilajit are intriguing, we need human clinical trials to confirm its effectiveness and safety before actually using it in conditions like stress or fertility. So are there any human trials that look at shilajit or its main active compound, fulvic acid? Actually, yes, there are. However, the quality of this evidence is very weak. Let's review the medical conditions that have been studied in relation to shilajit and fulvic acid, starting with its most common use as an adaptogen to boost stamina and energy. A small clinical trial with adults who had above average strength found that taking 500 milligrams of shilajit daily for 8 weeks slightly reduced muscle fatigue after an exercise routine. However, this effect was not seen in adults with below average strength, and the study only included male participants. Next, let's look at fertility. Preliminary research in adults with oligospermia, which is low sperm count, found that taking 100 milligrams of shilajit twice daily for 90 days increased total sperm count by 61% and sperm motility by at least 12% compared to baseline. However, the study did not have a placebo group, which severely limits its validity. Shilajit has also been tested for cognitive problems. In a small trial with adults suffering from Alzheimer's disease, taking 200 milligrams of shilajit daily, along with folate and vitamins B6 and B12 for 24 weeks, slightly slowed cognitive decline compared to a placebo. However, the study's methodology and findings were not fully detailed, making its validity weak as well. For bone health, a small trial with postmenopausal adults with osteopenia or osteoporosis showed that taking 500 milligrams of shilajit daily for 48 weeks slightly increased bone density in the spine and neck compared to a placebo. However, it's unclear if these results are applicable to many other groups since the study excluded men and those already on conventional osteoporosis medications. Additionally, clinical research on adults recovering from surgery after a tibia fracture found that taking 500 milligrams of shilajit twice daily for 28 days shortened the average healing time to 129 days compared to 153 days for those taking a placebo. However, the study had a high dropout rate, with less than 40% of patients completing the trial. Regarding fulvic acid, the research is even more limited. Preliminary research in people with allergic rhinitis found that taking 3.8% fulvic acid solution, 40 milligrams twice daily for 7 days, slightly reduced the size of hives from pollen prick tests compared to baseline. However, this study also lacked a placebo group, greatly limiting its validity. So what can we really say about the proven benefits of shilajit? Well, for studies without a control group, we can't draw any solid conclusions because any observed benefits could just be as easily due to the placebo effect, not the shilajit itself. When it comes to research on its use for Alzheimer's, the study used a mix of nutrients, so it's unclear if the effects are from the shilajit or other ingredients like B vitamins or the combination. This leaves us with only 2 potential benefits: a slight increase in bone density or healing faster from fractures in people with osteoporosis, and slightly reduced muscle fatigue after exercise. Beyond these specific conditions, Shilajit and fulvic acid haven't been thoroughly studied for any other medical conditions. Many of the other advertised benefits, such as boosting immunity, improving metabolism, enhancing vitality, slowing aging, detoxifying the liver, or improving cognitive or athletic performance in humans have either been completely made up or have been weakly inferred from animal and cellular studies. These claims have not been confirmed in clinical trials involving humans. There are two key takeaways from the research. First, even for the conditions mentioned, only one small study exists for each, making the evidence extremely weak. This is in stark contrast to other supplements like L-carnitine, which have multiple larger independent studies showing their benefits. Secondly, nearly all these studies used a specialized proprietary form of Shilajit called Prima V, which is purified and standardized to contain the specific components fulvic acid, along with dibenzoyl alpha-pyrones or DBPs and DBP chromoproteins. If you're considering trying Shilajit, it's important to choose a purified and processed form. Not only is it likely to be more effective, but it's also safer. Raw, unprocessed Shilajit is often contaminated with heavy metals, microbial debris, and other harmful compounds. Eating it is essentially like eating dirt. There's even some concern that water polluted with high concentration of fulvic acids, like those found in Shilajit, could be linked to Cashin-Beck disease, a chronic disorder affecting joints and bones, primarily in children and adolescents. This disease is prevalent in regions like China, Tibet, and Siberia, where Shilajit is commonly harvested. It causes severe arthritis, bone deformities, pain, restricted movement, and stunted growth. Now, I'm not saying that Shilajit will cause these issues, but it's important to be aware of the fact that when you consume a supplement that hasn't been thoroughly studied in humans, you may end up exposing yourself to some unknown risks. At the end of the day, Shilajit is a poorly studied nutritional supplement whose main claim to fame is that it comes from the Himalayan mountains, as if that somehow gives it mystical properties. Nutritionally, it's quite similar to peat, which is a type of organic soil made up of mostly fulvic and humic acid. It also contains trace amounts of minerals and organic acids, although their usefulness is questionable at best. While Shilajit has a history of traditional use,
supplements like Shilajit are not new. Fulvic and humic acid supplements have been sold as liquids in the past, often marketed with claims of improving vitality and other dubious health benefits. These supplements have also been problematic, sometimes containing high levels of heavy metals. Although most Shilajit supplements today strive to remove the heavy metals, the questionable health claims and dubious benefits remain to this day. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. Do you think it's worth it? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a like. Hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date, and share this video with someone you know who can use the info.